Hello, lovely people. You see, one of the joys of having friends that enjoy the same hobby as you is the ability to, chop it up with them, shoot the shit, if you will. 9 times out of 10, you will love every single second of your interaction with them. But as my first video made clear, it only takes one time, one statement so utterly delusional, and you wonder if it was worth it in the first place. Such is the case with this take. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what functional human being would actually say this? And while I am stretching the meaning of the word functional here, I assure you they do exist. So what justification does this person use to utter such nonsense? Let's go over them one by one. This statement, on its face, seems kind of reasonable. If one person has done something more than the other, wouldn't it make sense to give them more of a chance to do it again? But let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at what it took for the Miami Heat to get these finals appearances. In 2020, Jimmy Butler averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists on 49% shooting from the field and 35% from 3. This is a stark contrast to his regular season stats, where he was considerably worse in every single category. In 2022, he averaged 27 points, 7 rebounds, and 4.6 assists. These were his regular season stats. Again, every single category is worse. Same thing for 2023, when he averaged 26, 6.5, 5.9 on 46% shooting, and once again, 45% from 3. These were his regular season stats. He also averaged like 14, 7, and 7 on 30% shooting from the field in 2021, but we don't talk about that one. Notice how in those seasons where the Heat had even marginal success, Butler had to play way above his pay grade in comparison to his regular season. That much is obvious, but let me remind you, this is not the norm for most players. The second and third best players on his team, that being Bam and Tyler Hero, both fall off a cliff come playoff time. Say what you will about Jimmy, but the brighter those lights, the happier that crack addict is. Whereas Bam and Hero begin to violently shiver their timbers. As I'm sure all of you know, Jimmy Buckets has not exactly been happy with the Heat front office as of late. As such, he's decided for most of the season to mail in his regular season games more often than he already did. But that's a topic for another day. The point is, on a team where you have a disgruntled employee who was the only reason you had any level of success, playoffs or otherwise, and you have your second and third option being serial chokers in the playoffs, one of whom, even in the regular season, is having his worst season since his sophomore year. And your conclusion is, yeah, this team is playoff bound. Boy, I'd be surprised if y'all made the play-ins. The Eastern Conference, on top of just being bad and a weaker conference, has suffered from a multitude of injuries, with multiple teams missing not just their best player, but their second best player as well for a majority of the season. Yet the best the Heat can do is squeeze by an 8th seeding. Need I remind you, this is the same conference with 4 teams tanking. You have 4 teams out of 15 actively trying to lose. And the best you can do is 8th place out of 11. Well, that's because they're missing Jimmy. He doesn't want to be there. And even if he was, y'all would be in the same spot you were in for the past 2 years. The 8th seed has been a comfortable home for the Miami Heat for a while now. Let's not pretend that Jimmy coming back would change that. Oh, what? You think you can do better than Jimmy? Who's going to the Miami Heat in 2025, huh? Zach LaVine? The Bulls don't want Jimmy. Bradley Beal? While the Suns GM is missing just enough brain cells that he probably is willing to make that trade, the savior you are looking for, I assure you, will not be found in Bradley fucking Beal. So what options do the Heat have realistically? The one place that wants him, being the Grizzlies, don't got nobody that's going to make a reasonable impact on the Heat. Don't do that. Y'all just got blown out by 30 not one full week ago. Don't put this on that child. He has a bright future, but talking about him like after a 5-game stretch of him playing decent is why people are sick of this hate culture nonsense. I am by no means suggesting that the Nuggets are a perfect team. Lord knows they have their own problems, but to even compare them to this mangled corpse of a team that is the current Miami Heat is downright disrespectful. This ain't the bubble, buddy. And the Heat ain't no scrappy underdogs. Without Jimmy, y'all are just an amalgamation of crack addicts with no leader. And if there's anything we know about crack addicts, not named Jimmy Butler, they don't like them brat lats. Thank you for watching.